Okay, I already dropped off the control arms at Economy Shop. No, Economy Wheel and Tire Alignment, so they can press on the new bushings to the control arms. But in the meantime, what I could do is install the sway bar as well as the steering rack spacers. So this is what I'll be installing. These are the steering rack spacers. Since I've lowered my car on lowering springs through ZZP, it suggests you to install these on the rack so you will prevent bumps here. I'm also going to be installing the Goodrich brake lines for the front, might as well, and the mid and the rear I'll install those when I get to the rear sway bar installation. And I'm going to be installing this front sway bar also, which I got from ZZ Performance as well. So I'll tackle those three items on for now in the meantime while I get my control arm and set this up. Well, turns out that never mind. I got the phone call that my control arms are ready. So this is the finished, I guess, product after they installed the new bushings on them. So this is here basically the solid rubber bushings into the control arm. The next thing I'll be replacing, but that'll be later on once it's already on the car. I'm going to replace this ball joints for both of them. They both look like they need replacement, and sooner or later these as well also. But for now, then I guess let me start with the control arms, then I'll move on to the sway bars, the steering rack spacers, and the brake lines. Okay guys, what I'm going to be working on first is getting this control arm set up and installed. So what I basically need to do is right here, you see where there's 2 points here. One of the bushings goes through there, the other bushing would go through the subframe, and the last one, which would be the ball joint, I need to line it up with that down there. So let me get that lined up, installed, and get the rest rolling. Now you're gonna need, before you fasten the control arm, you're gonna need this little, I'm guessing like a little shield for it, and this bolt, which is a 15mm socket to tighten it up. Now I just got to line this up here, have this ball joint end turn to the knuckle, and we can get that one tightened up also. Oh man. Come on, please comply. Alright, got it to go through. Now what I need to do is install this bolt that goes here to tighten that up and make sure that the ball joint is properly secured. I won't be going anywhere. Now this is what you use to secure it. The bolt is a 16mm in size and the nut is a 15mm in size. So just remember, bolt 16mm and nuts 15mm. And you can just pass them through here, have it go through, and you can start to tighten it up so it can stay properly secured. Alright, now that that's been tightened, that's pretty much it for here. The ball joint has been tightened, the control arm to the subframe has been tightened. Forgive me for my sweat, but now that the first control arm is installed, which is the driver's side, I'm going to get ready to install the passenger side and have this ready to go, and then continue on with the sway bar. Now I need to move on to installing the ball joint back into its slot by the spindle. Just gotta lift this up. Just slide into its slot. Hopefully it doesn't give me a hard time. Alright, I think I got it. All right, yeah, I did. And same thing, 16 millimeter for the bolt and a 15 millimeter for the nut. So I'll get this on as well. Get in there already. Because adding a little bit up, it doesn't want to go in smoothly. Okay, I got it in. Now just to tighten it up. Okay, so that's already set up. This is for the passenger side control arm assembly. This is a driver side control arm assembly. Now let me go ahead and move on with the sway bar. Get these 4 bolts removed, cleaned up this whole area because there's about a ton of grease on it. And after that, I'll switch these out, put these steering rack spacers on the bottom of both of these, and get that ready to go. Now to make this much easier on me, I'm just going to use a 15 millimeter socket and an impact to get them removed, and it'll be good to go. Now besides the 15 millimeter socket, which would be like this one, to get all of these removed, at the bottom of these, the ones that appear like if it's a stud, it's actually an upside down bolt. If you can tell there at the bottom, it appears to be a 10 millimeter upside down bolt. So prevent it from keep on just spinning, put a 10 millimeter through the bottom there, and at the very top it should be that 15 millimeter, and both that one and this one should break apart. There we go, that made things a lot easier. Let's just go ahead and remove this one as well. Alright, now that those two are broken apart, the only ones left to do is just these on the inside, and the sway bar will come off. Okay, so there you have it, guys, the factory sway bar removed. Now all I gotta do is just clean up all of that oil residue and install the new ZZP one. Now for those of you wondering what the difference is between them, it does appear to be thicker in every way. It is thicker than the factory one, and it's also lighter. I can pick up the factory one, but the ZZ Performance one just feels much lighter. I would say maybe about 2 pounds lighter, if anything, maybe a pound. So in my opinion, it's a good investment. I mean, it's lighter, it appears to be stronger, and as well as thicker. So better for cornering, and lighter weight equals race car. Okay, now that I got the subframe cleaned out to the best that I can, I'm gonna go ahead, transfer these onto the new sway bar and get it installed. Add them up there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and install the bolt first, which will be towards the back end over here. Then I'll put the 10mm to the bottom of here to secure the bottom part and start. Okay, now that I got the control arms, both of them installed, the sway bar installed as well, and mine, it looks mighty fine and new. I did notice something. I have a little culprit leaking from my CV joint, so I'm gonna have to replace the driver's side CV joint, or replace just the boot since I caught it early. So now what I'm gonna do is here where the steering rack is at, I'm gonna add the spacers and get this lifted so we can get the tie rods in line. And these are the spacers right here. These spacers are going to go on the bottom of the steering rack on both ends. Now this bolt here is an 18mm, so you will need an 18mm to loosen both of them. Now since I see that it's a little dirty also, let me go ahead and get the rag also, clean up the little residue that's on it from the oil, and get the spacers installed and then tighten this back up. Okay, now that I have it all cleaned up, the spacers along with the steering rack are ready to tighten up and bolt back up in place. Alright, so it's already all assembled. The control arms, the new sway bar, and the little steering rack spacers already assembled as well. Only thing left to do is going to be to replace these regular hose brake lines with the Goodrich stainless steel brake lines. Well, once again guys, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell. Also, if you have anything to say or any suggestions, comment them below and let me know what you got.